Hi Aries, welcome to my channel, The Fool's Journey Tarot. Today is Saturday, April 4th, 2020, and this is a general love reading for the sign of Aries for this upcoming week in April. I hope you are all doing well, and I want to wish you all a happy birthday. I forgot to last time I did an Aries birthday. I know it is your birthday season, and so if you've already had a birthday, I hope it was a good one. If you are having one today, extra special happy birthday to you. And if you have one coming up in the near future, happy birthday. Anyway, I want to remind everybody watching that this is a general love reading, so it can pertain to anything, relationships, situations, and circumstances surrounding family, friends, work, you name it, it might apply. Also be flexible with the energy. Do not be concerned about the gender of the cards. You can mix and match the characters within the reading. In other words, you might be represented by anybody who shows up in the cards. If you resonate with the reading, you will know who you are in the reading as well. My intention is always to reach those that need the message and those that will benefit from it in some way, shape, or form. Some of it may apply to your circumstances, other parts may not. So take what does resonate, leave behind what doesn't. And hopefully you get something to take away from it so that it helps you in some way. So we're going to get started, Aries, after one more quick shuffle and a cut, and we'll see what's going on with Aries for this upcoming week in April in these crazy times that we're living in today. Right, Aries? Here we go. So we have the Page of Pentacles, and we have the King of Cups in reverse. We have the Four of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, Two of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Cups in reverse. Okay, so Aries, we have a King of Cups in the reverse in your underlying energy. I feel like this could represent you. This could also represent somebody that you're dealing with. This King of Cups in reverse feels emotionally disconnected, maybe emotionally unavailable, or might just be trying to separate emotions from decisions being made, reactions, maybe trying to see things from a logical sense rather than emotional point of view. I don't get negative energy from that King of Cups in reverse. I feel just a disconnect or maybe even a little bit of apathy. Or this, this could indicate somebody making head over heart decisions. Or again, trying to avoid becoming emotionally invested into something that requires a little bit more neutral standpoint, or seeing things from a different perspective instead of becoming emotionally involved, for example. And I do feel like there might be some kind of decision on the table with this Two of Pentacles. You may have learned something, Aries, or been presented with some information or some news that is having you, putting you in a state of needing to make a decision or a choice. There's some kind of indication within this first set of cards that there's some slow, steady movement toward a goal, or towards something maybe you've been trying to manifest into your life. Something positive, something that feels stable and grounded and good. Some kind of movement towards something positive. And I do feel that, again, you could be presented with needing to make a choice or a decision regarding something. And then it may result in ending some dissatisfaction or feeling of unhappiness or feeling incomplete or some kind of whatever you've got on your plate right now. I feel like could potentially bring an end to something that's been less than satisfactory in your life, something that has made you maybe even a little unhappy or feeling disappointed, for example. Let's get some more cards out here, Aries. Eight of Wands in reverse. There's the Page of Wands again. Hanged Man. Seven of Swords in reverse. The Lovers in reverse. There's the King of Cups in the upright position. The Five of Swords in reverse. And the Devil in reverse. So you've been presented with or have found something out or have received some news, some information. You've gained some kind of knowledge about possibly something that was getting in your way or some obstacles that were keeping you from moving forward towards something. There may have been, you may have felt stuck because of someone or something getting in your way or some kind of, feels like something that was out of your control, but something that was getting in your way of a goal, possibly a connection, a decision of some sort. I do feel like it was somebody that was kind of a relationship or connection that was acting as an obstacle or getting in your way. Three of Pentacles just popped out onto the floor. Three of Pentacles can indicate working together, communication, building something with somebody or a group of people. There's some kind of conflict that you might be moving toward ending or leaving behind because of some new knowledge or new information. I feel that you've become aware of something. Again, something that was standing in your way or keeping you from moving forward, or keeping you stuck. Let's get some more cards out here for you, Aries. You have the Emperor in reverse. The Tower. Page of Pentacles again. We have 4 pages on the table. Page of Pentacles, Page of Wands. 10 of Wands. The Lovers again, this time in the upright position. Judgment. Two of Wands. And the Four of Wands again, this time in the reverse. Okay, so what I'm getting right now more than anything, Aries, is that you've been moving towards something. You had some kind of goal or some kind of objective in mind that you've been moving toward. This can be anything. Four of Wands can indicate a relationship, building a family or a home, some kind of long-term goal in the area of business or finance, building something stable, building something positive, building something that will bring you joy and happiness and prosperity possibly, but something's been keeping you stuck. Something's been keeping you stagnant or keeping you from moving forward. And I do believe that you've come to understand or come to light about something. And I do feel like it has to do with a relationship. Possibly a relationship that you left behind at some point in time or you walked away from. There's this indication of separation or walking away from something or leaving something behind. You may be presented with a new opportunity to reconnect or reconsider a relationship or connection from your past, possibly that, again, that I feel like you may have forgotten about or left behind, or it doesn't necessarily. Okay, let's not get too far into this. I don't want to. I've got this story going through my head already, Aries. So I don't want to jump too far ahead because I still have one more deck to put out here. But this King of Cups, which I do feel is your energy, and I want to remind my female viewers, you can embody the King of Cups energy. This is somebody who is very loving and compassionate, who is not afraid to show emotion when he's in the upright, who is very available and again, compassionate, loyal to those around him. Can be somebody who's very empathetic and understanding, somebody that people can trust, somebody that people feel comfortable being around. So you can embody this energy, whether you're a male or a female. And I do feel like you might be presented with a decision or being able to make a change your mind about something. Something, again, that maybe you have left behind, that you no longer felt an emotional attachment to, that you kind of had forgotten about maybe, because there's a sense that there was maybe a lack of communication or separation or a loss of a relationship. I do feel like it maybe made you feel unhappy or unsettled or uncertain or unstable. But I feel like there's an opportunity possibly to reconsider a decision regarding a connection or a relationship. Because you've come in, there could have been some recent communication with this Page of Wands out here, or you may have received some news or a message, for example, or heard something through the grapevine is what I'm getting more than anything, especially from this page. You can see he's kind of got his hand to his ear like he's listening for something. And it's with regard to this connection. I feel that at least in the past has something that maybe you've forgotten about or you've been disconnected or separated from this individual. There's a sense of disconnect. This is interesting because I just did a Pisces reading, and it was all about a reconnecting of, family, friends, somebody that Pisces was very close to. And I do feel that we're all kind of dealing with the same energy right now, especially with the whole world, literally the whole world. Well, I mean, out of 196 countries, I believe there's 196, I think there's maybe a 50 or so, maybe 45 who are not dealing with this pandemic. So it's not the entire world, but obviously a large percentage is dealing with something we've never experienced before, at least in our lifetimes. Obviously in the past, history, there's been epidemics and pandemics that humans have dealt with, but this is something on a scale that we've never dealt with in our lifetimes, right? There's the sense of people coming back together or reconnecting or reconsidering relationships maybe that you thought you had once lost, trying to decide whether or not it's worth trying to give it another try or coming back together, that kind of energy. And I'm getting a similar thing from this reading. So I wanted to say this because I might put it in my description too, but I don't indicate what like a lot of readers will say this is for, Aries, Sun, Moon, rising signs, and Venus or something of that nature. I don't do that because I feel, this is my personal opinion about tarot, that because we all have placement, we all have the different signs and different placements, you can probably get something from just about any reading that you feel compelled to watch or look at or listen to, because there's all, there's different parts of our lives that the readings can apply to. And so when I get these readings that feel similar to past readings that I've done, it feels like, we're dealing with the same kind of energy, especially right now in this day and age, and around the world, which is a very unique situation to be in, if you think about it. I mean, there are more people sitting at home right now than there ever around the world, trying to figure out how to make time pass, or picking up new hobbies, or reconsidering the kind of work they're in, or reconnecting with family, kids from college moving back home while school's closed, that kind of thing. We're all in this very unique position of reconsidering what this all means for our lives in the present and what it's going to mean for our lives in the future. And so when I do these readings and I get similar stories, it's because we're all going through the same thing. So there might be something in other readings for you, Aries, than just the Aries reading. In a nutshell, that's what I was getting to. Let's get some more cards on the table and see what's going on with you, Aries. Here we go. So we have the Hermit in reverse, the Six of Pentacles in reverse, the Hanged Man again, clarifying the Hanged Man. I love when that happens. It doesn't give me any clarity, but it kind of does at the same time. I still love the repeats, because they're just, I don't know, whatever. Two of Swords. The Moon, clarifying the Lovers in reverse. Seven of Wands, clarifying this King of Cups. Two of Pentacles again, this time in the reverse. And Justice. So again, I'm getting this feeling with these cards in your underlying energy, Aries, that there was some kind of imbalance, something that had you feeling dissatisfied, unhappy, maybe something that went unresolved, for example, a relationship that you maybe kind of drifted away from, or someone that you decided to disconnect to because there's just this feeling that there was some unknowns attached to it. You might be getting a new opportunity to reconnect, to find out what happened or what went awry or what went wrong within this relationship. And maybe there wasn't anything that was wrong. Maybe it was all about perception. Maybe you miscommunicated or misunderstood one another. And again, this could be a person or a group of people, but there is some kind of decision on the table or some kind of new opportunity to readdress something that happened in the past that maybe you thought was done and said and done and it was over with. It looks like you might be getting an opportunity to reconsider, to fix what was broken, to reconnect, to reestablish communication, to come in from, to come in from being out in the cold, feeling left behind, feeling like you lost something, feeling stuck. And at the same time, I do feel Pisces. I start talking about Pisces and I start calling you Pisces. Aries. I do feel like there might be a sense that you're feeling a little defensive, feeling a little bit hesitant, maybe a little bit self-protective. of you and your emotions. Because if this was something that you left in the past, if this was some kind of relationship or connection that you maybe at the time didn't feel like it was right for you, or didn't feel like it was good for you, you don't want to repeat whatever may have occurred that left you feeling unhappy or uncertain or worried or scared or stuck or whatever. I do feel like you left something behind, but now it's presenting itself again for you. Or again, you've received some kind of information or news that has kind of opened the door again for you. So let's get this last round of cards out, Aries, and see what else we can get. There's the Devil again, this time in the upright position. And the Queen of Swords. Ten of Swords, this time in the reverse. Seven of Swords in the upright position, clarifying the Seven of Swords in reverse. Three of Cups in reverse. Death in reverse. Nine of Pentacles. And then the Ace of Wands in reverse. Okay, so here's what I mean by the gender of the cards not mattering, because I think this Queen of Swords represents you. You and this King of Cups and this Queen of Swords represents both represent you, Aries, and you're the only one in this reading. Whoever this person is that you're reconnecting with or finding out information about, or maybe potentially is coming back into your life or coming back around, they are not represented in this reading itself. So again, that could indicate that it's more than one person. It could indicate that this hasn't happened yet and this person is just considering a reconnection, or maybe maybe you've got them on your mind and they haven't yet considered coming back together with you or communicating. There is, again, it feels more like you've received some information or some news, and now you might be the one reconsidering a connection or reconsidering communication. I don't feel like that's happened yet. Things seem to be up in the air right now. I do feel like there's a sense of being deep in thought, seeking answers, at this point in time feeling a little bit stuck with this Hangman energy. I do feel like these two court cards represent you. And the Queen of Swords for me in this reading represents your higher self. Maybe thinking about this, again, from a logical standpoint, being true to yourself, maintaining a level of honesty and clear-headedness, maybe setting aside the emotions for now and just working through things in the head with a logical, neutral standpoint. Again, trying to keep emotions out of the equation because those can sometimes cloud judgment, for example. I do feel like whatever this you found out may have thrown you off balance a little bit, maybe has you feeling a little bit, whoa, what's going on here? I didn't expect this. Maybe just feeling a little bit uncertain about what decision to make, where to go from here. And again, I do feel like you might be feeling guarded with your emotions. Maybe whatever happened in the past did affect you emotionally, and you don't want to go through that again. So again, you're weighing your options, determining right from wrong, pros and cons. How do I go about this? What's the next step? What step do I take? Where do I go from here? That type of energy, that type of decision making, because I do feel like not everything's known yet, and I do feel like you might still be waiting to gain some understanding, gain some clarity regarding this relationship, this connection. It feels like there might be some things still in the dark for you, some unknowns about whether or not this is the right move to make, about whether or not to reconnect or allow this person back into your life or people. And to a certain extent, I feel like you might be a little wary about feeling like you don't have control over the matter. Like you're not the one necessarily calling the shots. And so the outcome might be uncertain. Maybe there's still some obstacles in your way. Maybe there is still a lack of communication or inability to communicate. Distance. So there's something indicated in these cards that there is a certain level of uncertainty, maybe lack of clarity because you don't have all the answers yet, or you don't have the ability to gain all of the information that's required to make this decision. And you might still try to decide what really happened, what went wrong. Why are you in this position in the first place? With the Seven of Swords in the upright and the Seven of Swords in reverse with the Two of Swords. What really happened? Where to go from here? Do you need to revisit the past? Do you need to reconsider everything that occurred or everything that happened or everything that you understand about this? Because you do want to move forward in a positive way. But you might have to deal with something that occurred in the past that maybe went left unresolved. Or maybe you just don't have the clarity that you would like to have. I do feel that you are also this Nine of Pentacles energy, which again is very interesting because at the very end of the reading for Pisces, the Nine of Pentacles came out from my Dreams of Gaia tarot deck. And this one came out in the last set for you, Aries. And I do feel like you are doing well on your own right now, that you're feeling very comfortable and confident and maybe feeling like, you know, you don't need other people to take care of you. In fact, probably quite the opposite, Aries, that you're the one, you could be the person that people are looking to for help and to feel secure and feel confident in these uncertain times that we're dealing with. So I feel like you have a very positive energy surrounding you, Aries, even though there's uncertainty in the air for just about everybody in the world right now. That Aries is kind of handling this pretty well, but again, I do feel like you might be reflecting on some past events, past relationships, and reconsidering where to go from here. So let's get a Dreams of Gaia tarot card for Aries. After I shuffle these up a bit. I do always pre-shuffle my decks, by the way, Aries, just in case you were wondering. So when you see me shuffling during the reading, these are extra shuffles. And I like to shuffle during the reading because as I talk through the story, for me, it just gives me an opportunity to prime the cards for the right cards to come out, if that makes sense. Makes sense to me. So I'm going to go with it. All right, let's get a card for Aries. One Dreams of Gaia tarot card to finish up this reading. Okay, it feels like I'm going to take this one. I'm not taking more than one. We have the Two of Air, which is the Two of Swords, and you'll remember I just showed this to you because it was clarifying the Seven of Swords. So again, I want to remind you the Seven of Swords can indicate, and it's in the upright and in the reverse, so this can indicate something that went wrong within a relationship or some deceit, betrayal, lies, shenanigans, sneaky behavior, someone doing you wrong. So you could be kind of rehashing those memories or revisiting them and kind of trying to work things out. The Two of Air in this deck does have some more in-depth meaning. But this can be about decision making, could be about being blocked from making a decision or being blocked from having clarity. And this Two of Air card does, again, have some other meanings to it. So I do want to read it from the book for you, and it is in the upright and it's about a page and a half. So it's a little long, Aries. So bear with me. If this reading is resonating for you, you might get something out of this card. Okay, here we go, Aries. The Two of Air represents both duality and polarity, and the theory that everything in creation has an opposite. Duality is the theory that two opposing forces come together to create a state of chaos. In this theory, positive and negative poles repel each other, and so there is a constant and ongoing battle between the two, where one seeks to overcome or be rid of the other. Polarity, however, is the idea that two opposing forces exist in all things within the universe, not as separate competing forces, but as complementary opposing aspects of a singular whole. In this theory, one is just as necessary as the other. One does not exist without the other, and in some situations, depending upon one's perspective, one could be even said to be an identical mirror image of the other. Consider a magnet, for example. It is made up of a positive pole and a negative pole. Without either one or the other, the magnet ceases to be a magnet. You cannot remove a negative half from the positive half because there is no half of one and half of the other. There is only the whole. If you were to divide a magnet in two, all you would succeed in doing is one of two things. You would create two separate magnets or destroy the magnet. As the theory of polarity points out, there are opposites, and while one has no identity or meaning without the other, neither is intrinsically good or bad. Fear is, love is, light is, dark is. Love can be as destructive as fear, and fear can be beneficial. It can save lives and inspire the desire to improve or heal. It can also make you more empathetic, understanding, and appreciative. More often than not, both polar opposites are experienced in unison. For instance, when you create something, you destroy the state that exists prior to your creating it. You create and destroy in unison. They are not separate states. They are the same state, seen from two different perspectives. When you love something, you most probably also fear losing it. The fear might not be voiced or even acknowledged. It might even be denied. It is, however, still present. You would fight to protect that something because you love it, but you also fight because you fear losing it or seeing it harmed. Therefore, to love is also fear, and to act from a place of love is also an act from a place of fear. You might choose to lose weight in an exercise and say what you are doing so because you love yourself. Say that you are doing so because you love yourself, and so you deserve to have a healthy body. At the same time, it could be said that you choose to lose weight and exercise because you fear what might happen if you do not. Your choice is motivated by both love and fear. Again, it is the same state, simply viewed from two different perspectives. That is polarity. With the duality principle, however, one force is always better than the other. Right and wrong, love and hate, light and dark, positive and negative, creation and destruction all illustrate extreme opposites where one is perceived to be good and the other is bad. And the primary goal is for good to triumph to overcome the bad. Duality divides and creates two separate states. It creates a state of one versus the other. It creates a warlike state of conflict that serves only to perpetuate more chaos. Duality is black and white. Polarity is the entire spectrum. Duality divides and competes. Polarity unites and accepts. The Two of Air offers a choice between two paths. You can choose a path of dichotomy or one of integration. One offers conflict and the other offers peace. There you go, Aries. You get to choose a path now. You get to choose your path. You had a lot of cards indicating choice, indicating polarity, indicating fear versus love, indicating oppression versus independence or freedom, deceit versus and betrayal versus making things right or walking the right path, versus you had endings versus new beginnings or trying again or starting over. We have stability versus instability, or goals attained versus goals broken, and the demise of happiness. You have a lot of polarity in this reading, which is very interesting. So I'm going to leave this here. Now I've messed up my cards, and I'm kind of looking at these wishing I had this all put together again. so I could look at this reading more carefully. Again, I think there's a lot of cards indicating choices to be made and decisions to be had, and it's very interesting, Aries. So I'm going to leave this here. I hope this reading gave you something to think about. I hope it resonated for you. If it did, please give me a like, share, subscribe if you want to. Leave a comment if you care to. Those are always nice. I do try to reply to most, if not all of those, when I can. So thank you so much, Aries, for joining me. I appreciate it, and I hope I see you again soon. Bye.